Indrani Malkani. I have a trust, We Citizens Action Network. But I think in the space of road safety, I am better known as the school bus. So I think that's the face that I am more known to in Mumbai. This was a project which I had created. I'm giving you a little context because as we saw in the morning, we talked about youth. So the youth starts from being a child, and how you attach safety to a child during commute to school and back in the formative years is perhaps the foundation which will take us forward in any of the issues that we talk on road safety. So this project, I think it is well known to people in Mumbai about the school bus project. It is now being turned into a policy for the government, and that's the entire model which was created has been taken by the government. So for that, I am deeply grateful to our government when we put this in place. Now, when we talk about road safety and children, how to commute, using public transport, safety of self and others, all of these aspects get merged. Earlier last month, I was in Delhi because Rajpath went on a walk to talk about road safety, etc. But what we had to do at that was ourselves follow certain safety projects, certain safety measures on how we behave in the road when we walk, pedestrians. A child who was walking with me, he was on the curbside, and I told him, I said, do come on my left. So he asked me why, and I asked, what do you think? Why do you think I told you to do this? So he said, yes, because there are lots of cars coming at me, so I need to be on the left side. Now, a simple thing like that, how many of you would have seen when you're walking on the street that a child is on the right of the adult? It's the simplest thing that we all see, but we're not conscious of. There are so many angles of safety that we often get bogged down by this word today, that what is safe, what is unsafe, and are we really responsible individually and collectively? We tend to say that it is the government's job, that it is the statutory authority's job. But is it? Because unless the community has that feeling, a civil society has that feeling of being safe first, no amount of policing will enable us to take that safety.
Safety, as you rightly said, started young. Discussing it with the Transport Minister in the Ministry of in Government of Rajasthan, Mr. Yunus Khan is telling me in 2011, every September I am having a meeting with my colleague from Fleet Forum, which is the organization that I represent, and we work on road safety and road issues. Why do you think of children? 5 साल के बच्चे का क्या करना है? वो जो बाइक तेज चलाते हैं उनकी बात करो. Perfect. I don't know, sir. I thought you did law. Did you enter into university right away? And by then I had resigned the government. I had no fear of the politicians or the bosses or whatever or the bureaucrats. नहीं, ऐसे तो यूनिवर्सिटी में थोड़ी एडमिशन हो रहा है. सर, ये बताइए कि आप वालेकुम सलाम वालेकुम करते हैं, तो वो उसके लिए कुछ सोचना पड़ता है? आप ये ऑटोमेटिक होता है या हम नमस्ते करते हैं और कोई बड़े वी सीज एनीबडी एल्डर वी जस्ट नॉट द हेड ऑटोमेटिक ना. तो ये रिस्पांस रोड सेफ्टी के लिए नहीं आता है क्योंकि वो 5 साल के बच्चे को हमने छोड़ दिया.
Safer vehicles, be it private or commercial, and safe driving practices. Safe driving practices.
Safe driving.
When I think of commercial vehicles, overloading is one of the most vital reason why most of the accidents happen, or late night driving, or overstressed drivers, etc. And when we talk of safe vehicles, be it our own protecting the drivers or the families which are in the car, airbags even today are not compulsory. When we talk, I mean, you can go on Bombay-Pune highway and take a trip, and you will find 90% trucks do not have the red lights at the back, the safety lights, and police just doesn't do anything. So while we can drive all our efforts in educating communities and individuals, if we do not work with the government to enforce safe driving practices, all efforts are going to go in vain. In Europe, in the US, there is no vehicle without an airbag. Even today, I have an option to buy the best of the brand without an airbag kind of. Why are they allowing that? To protect the commuter.
there is also a need to address various concerns of business owners and fleet owners. So there is one responsibility from the driver side, the cleaner side. The second responsibility is from the business owner. Whether the vehicle that they have provided has been maintained properly, the need for safety, need for having the vehicle properly fitted with all safety equipment. So sensitization at that level, and also some kind of industry accreditation where people follow certain safe practices and hence qualify. Okay, in that particular thing that okay, fine, these are the companies which are following the best practices when it comes to tracking their vehicles, maintaining their vehicles. Drivers have been sensitized. There should be some kind of incentive even for the business owners to follow this practice after knowing the implications of their ignorance. So that critical part, I mean, sensitizing the business owner also needs to be addressed properly apart from the drivers, is what I feel.
One point that needs to be added here is about creating a set of rules, especially for the logistic business guys who are into transportation of goods within the city. A simple example, the biggest menace on roads in Bombay today has started after Domino's announced a 30-minute delivery cycle. And if you see the two-wheelers, the way those guys ride, it's a scary situation both for the rider as well as the cars around them. The same thing has now started with the boom of e-commerce in the city. And delivery within strict timelines is creating this havoc on the city. So how about creating a set of rules or an advisory rules that can be given to all this logistics company which they can implement within their businesses for the safety of the citizens as well as their own employees.
Should also look at the laws and the policies across all the issues. There's some fantastic laws, there's some fantastic policies across the world that solve these issues very quickly. Like even when you're talking about pedestrians, there is a ratio to amount of walking space you're supposed to have and as opposed to driving space. We're very, very driving oriented right now. So I think it would be great to look at the legal angle of it, and what we do is a lot of comparative legal research. So what do the laws in other countries say about the same issue? It's a very good tool to give pressure on the policymakers to change the laws.
Please, carry on.
In the 90s, we were working on this whole solid waste management issue, the issue of garbage out here. And I remember we had a slideshow which showed the plight of the workers at the Devna dumping ground, the biggest in Asia. And we had a group and we kept showing this slideshow to a lot of adults. And they would all say, oh my God, what a bad condition. The only solution they were coming up with is that the PMC should give these workers gloves and boots and stuff like that. And we are not going anywhere. The moment we move to kids, and that's why I really endorse this whole education aspect, we actually started working in 15 schools in this Bandra Santa Cruz area. And we actually got them to segregate waste. We got the schools to segregate waste, set up vermiculture pits, etc. But I think the biggest success of the program was when parents called us and said, I didn't know I was doing something wrong till my child came and told me. Now, if we move this education aspect, not only to educate kids as to what they're going to do when they grow up, what are your parents doing wrong, tell them and shame them into doing it. Probably that would probably have an impact.
Housewives. The housewives mainly, not that the men are not, are buying things from hawkers which spread on the footpaths, and that is another matter that we have to take care of. The people have a new culture in Mumbai of walking on the road and not on the footpath. It's a new culture, I would say, in the last 10 years. Especially in the suburbs, there are no footpaths now. That's the best thing. They have saved all the time.
And I would say, Castrol is one such example of a best-in-class practice, when it comes to road safety in terms of how industry has adopted it. Maybe 10 years back or even before that, when the organization first started talking about road safety and they started talking to us as transporters, the basic question was that do the trucks have even seats in place? Forget the seat belt. So it started all out from there. And then this whole question about driver education and what are we going to do on the road. So a lot of things were kind of discussed, deliberated. And the business spans around 1,500 trucks. And the organization decided to kind of play a conscious part into imbibing road safety into its ways of working. Now when somebody said that with the e-commerce boom, it's the logistics companies which are to be blamed. I think it's not about logistics companies, it's about Flipkarts and all those retailers who have to be held accountable. because it's not about the logistics company, it's not about the poor guy who is kind of riding a bike, rushing a delivery in 30 minutes. Why should Domino's not be held accountable and Domino's not be questioned?
The one who committed it.
Yes, because if the guy on the bike, is an immediate cause, the root cause is
The policy of the
policy
company.
of the company.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that's where, I would say that, we take pride in association with Castrol, wherein Castrol said that, you can't kill anybody on the roads. And forget law and forget anything else. No collier of Castrol is permitted to kind of cause any injury. And a lot of money was spent in terms of improving the engineering of the vehicles. A lot of money was spent in terms of education. So if the organization decides that something has to be done, it is doable. Even if the environment is as, whatever hostile as they keep blaming it, but we could still achieve it. One or two things which Castrol propagates. If you look into the statistics, most of the accidents typically happen during early morning hours, starting 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock or so. So Castrol kind of made it a norm years back that no night driving is permitted into its business. So between 10 in the night, 11 in the night till 5 in the morning, nobody is permitted to drive any vehicle. So that is kind of one policy, to share with you, which has drastically helped reduce accidents. So the driver should sleep in the night; they are not meant to be driving.
Thing is concerned, it's a very big domain that's left quite untapped. You have not only uneducated people driving the trucks, that's one factor, but apart from that, the training which should be given to them before putting them on the vehicle. You need to realize that each vehicle, its gross weight about 21 tons or even 31 tons. If it touches a cyclist or motorcyclist, even at the speed of 20, that guy is in serious danger. Hence, the training, it's like literally putting a murderer on the road without giving him the right kind of understanding of what he's handling. And the RTO, of course, government norms should be more tight, inclusive with the Transport Association, who we individually are responsible, absolutely, in seeing to it that we don't put any driver, have our own individual checks in place to see that they are trained properly before putting them on that truck, no matter how many days our truck standing for empty. That's one priority which should be a mandate in terms of organizational structures internally. Externally, of course, the government should be more stringent on who to give the license to. It shouldn't just be handed out, especially commercial vehicles I'm talking about.
I think this way we interpret crashes as always being the fault of the survivor of the larger vehicle. That needs to go. We need to move away from this blame game approach to look at the actual causes of the crash and what we can do to make these crashes, reduce the risk of these crashes. And if we analyze that data, we will reach a conclusion that it's important to work on improving in driver training, but more important is addressing vehicle design, the blind spots on vehicles. We have these kind of small car-like or rickshaw-like mirrors on our BST buses that won't do. You need to have the big wide-angle rear-view mirrors that come out. You need to have a side underrun protection around your trucks, back underrun protection so that vehicles can't go underneath and get caught in the wheels. All of that is simple technology that is standard across most industrialized nations, and we still not have that in our large vehicles. I think that's what needs to be addressed.